You're tuning into Black and White Sports on YouTube. The no-holds-barred truth on sports. The main event starts now.
All right, Black and White Sports supporters, let's talk about Russell Wilson. Now, I did a video yesterday afternoon where we talked about the fact that it looked like the Raiders may be out of the Russell Wilson sweepstakes. Now, it's thought that Russell Wilson is going to be one of the most sought-after players in the league, especially due to the fact that unless he restructures his contract and chooses to stay with Sean Payton and the Broncos, which I think is still highly unlikely. He's put his Denver mansion up for sale for $25 million. He's going to find an NFL home because Denver's going to have to eat part of that contract, okay, which may make him sort of attractive to some of these NFL-needy teams. Patriots, Steelers, Falcons, Vikings, and Bucks, if they lose their quarterbacks, right, are thought to be the teams that may end up stepping up and being in the running. I think most people believe that probably the Commanders and the Bears are going to end up drafting quarterbacks, and maybe the Patriots, right? So enter in ESPN. Now, we know ESPN is full of hot take artists, and this may be the hottest take I've seen as of yet, because former NFL quarterback Tim Hasselbeck, you know, the less talented of the Hasselbecks, Matt Hasselbeck was a damn good quarterback. He was. He was a Hall of Very good quarterback, and if the Seahawks would have won that Steelers Super Bowl, there's a world where Matt might have sniffed a jacket. You go back and look at his numbers, they're pretty impressive, with some of it being done in the non-passing situation that the NFL was for quite some time of his career. Nonetheless, his brother, who was a journeyman, if you can call him that, a backup practice squad kind of guy, came out and said he believes there's a chance that Russell Wilson's NFL run is over, that he may not have a job next year. Now, I got to tell you, even as critical as I am of Russell Wilson, I don't believe this to be the case, all right? I believe that even Jimmy Garoppolo is going to end up finding a home next year. Now, it's possible he could end up being out just based on one thing, and that's that suspension. But even at that, who's not going to throw Jimmy G $2 million to be a backup? You know, with his track record, especially somebody that runs the Shanahan offense, yeah, they're going to look at Jimmy as a backup. The NFL season may officially be over, but that is not going to stop hot takes from flowing. One of the bigger storylines this spring will be where former Seahawks and Broncos quarterback Russell Wilson will end up. After 2 disastrous seasons in Denver, Wilson is now looking for his third home. By the way, I've got ESPN Jeremy Fowler coming out and saying multiple teams are going to be in on Russell Wilson. So we'll look at that. Now, keep in mind, you've got an NFL insider and an NFL analyst. They're two different animals, all right? One's usually a former coach or player talking about the game and or players. The insiders are talking about more things that are transactional, right? But if ESPN analyst Tim Hasselbeck is to be believed, there is perhaps a chance Wilson is still looking for said home come the fall. On ESPN's show Get Up, the former journeyman quarterback believes there's a chance Wilson is out of the league. There it is right there. I think there's a chance Russell Wilson is out of football. Okay. And it goes on to talk about the fact that this does seem like the hottest of takes. So we'll go over here to PFF. Now, you guys may wonder, why do you keep showing PFF? Well, number one, it's a damn good tool. Number two, NFL personnel people use Pro Football Focus, use the statistics and the analytical data to make personnel decisions. That's a thing, and it's used a lot. So, Russell Wilson, right there, you see where he's ranked, and he's certainly ranked among quarterbacks that you would believe to be a starter in the NFL. Trevor Lawrence, I think Jake Browning's a starting quarterback. Problem is he's locked in under contract. If If I was a team, I'd trade for that dude. Joe Burrow, Russell Wilson, Derek Carr, Baker Mayfield, Justin Fields. So that is the area that Russell Wilson is playing in, all right? So you come over to let's just call it ESPN on ESPN Crime, because Jeremy Fowler says he has literally talked to other teams. Quote, I have talked to several teams who still believe that he's a full-time starter, that there's a job for him somewhere out there, all right? And this is his numbers in case you're wondering. The Broncos showed improvement, going 8-9, and Wilson had a much better season as well, completing 66.4% of his passing attempts for 3,000 yards, 26 TDs, 8 picks. He did have 341 and 3 touches on the ground. That was in 15 games. Now, he also had some fumbles in there, all right, and some bad mistakes in big games. That loss against a bad Patriots team, I mean, I think that was like some deal breakers, right? Peyton kept things fairly conservative for Wilson, so the offense largely lacked explosiveness, but Wilson cut down on mistakes and was far more efficient. He was better this year, no doubt about it. No doubt about it. He was better this year. There's a lot of fire between Russell Wilson and the Steelers. Little bit around the Patriots. I think the Falcons are going to take a hard look at him. Even if the Broncos cut or attempt to trade Wilson, there are seemingly enough teams out there with a need at quarterback that he should be able to maintain his status as a starter next season. The New England Patriots, Falcons, Buccaneers, Vikings, Raiders, Steelers, and Commanders all stand out as teams that either have a quarterback need or could have a need if any of them are potential landing spots. They did name the Vikings here too, so you see that. And the Buccaneers. So good on Bleacher Report for throwing them two in, because, yeah, they're going to have potential quarterback situations on their hands if their big-time free agents choose to fly the coop and take a contract somewhere else, you know? And you got to wonder, let's say a team like the Cleveland Browns even. You've got Deshaun Watson there, and we're finding out he's going to have to go possibly testify in one of his massage lawsuits. You know, he still has not played anywhere close to that contract he's gotten. And if Denver's going to have to eat some of that contract, is that an interesting landing spot for Russell Wilson with the Cleveland Browns? You know, Joe Flacco's going to be floating around out there too as a potential starter. He has come out and said he wants to play. And it looks like he's done in Cleveland, unfortunately for Browns fans, because the Browns fans love Joe Flacco. So it's going to be interesting. I don't buy that Russell will, even as hard as I am on Russell Wilson, I think he starts for somebody next year. All right? I mean, Steelers, Falcons, I think he's going to find a home somewhere. I still think there's this oddness around the Patriots about whether or not they want to become an immediately competitive team. And what I mean by that is, do they want to try to put together a team that is immediately an 8, 9, 10 win kind of team? The kind of team that will actually still be in the playoff talk, in the playoff mix, in the last 3 weeks of the season, all right, which is a big deal for a fan base. You're locked in. You're looking at all the scenarios in which your team might be able to slip in. And I wonder if the Patriots would just, Gerard Mayo, is that a fit? I know there's some major Baker Mayfield rumors with the Patriots. But, there's a world that if they hit a home run in the draft and several picks turned out to be solid players, even in their rookie years, a la Houston, there's a world where the Patriots could flip things very quickly. But that defense, can that defense perform as well as Belichick had it performing? That's a big question mark, and they've got a lot of defensive players that are free agents. But that's going to be a place to look at for Russell Wilson. So no, I don't believe Tim Hasselbeck. I don't think there's an end of the quarterback musical chairs that stops where Russell Wilson has no job. I don't buy that, even as hard as I am on him and for the deficiencies that he has. Tell me what you think. Peace. I'm out. Till next time.
Thanks for watching the show. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Be sure to tune in next time on Black and White Sports.